Hey everyone, welcome to episode 1 of Breaking the Seal, or whatever else I decide to call this in the future, where we will be going through every single sealed game I still own, and we will be either selling it if I've lost interest in it completely, or if I'm still curious about it, I want to try it out, we are going to pop it open, and we are going to try it out and talk about it, starting with EVOLAND Legendary Collection, or Legendary Edition. This has both EVOLAND games on it, which, if you don't know anything about them, they're, from what I understand, they are basically I don't even know how to explain it, because they're just like they start out as a really simple basic RPG, like a top-down I want to say action RPG, and they kind of just evolve from that, going through all the generations of different RPGs and, well, JRPGs specifically, and it just changes style and gameplay as you play along, so they just sound very unique, and I can't wait to actually try it out, since I've owned this for probably about a year now and I just haven't got around to opening it. I'm gonna stop doing that. I'm not gonna own anything sealed anymore, it's just pointless. Things are meant to be played, even rare stuff. Either that or I will sell it so someone else can enjoy it more. And this is definitely one that I'm curious in. Feels good to open games. Now, we actually have a nice slip cover there. And doesn't really have much on the back. It just says EVOLAND Legendary Edition brings you two great and unique RPGs with their graphic style and gameplay changing as you progress through the game. Yep, just like I said. And there's that. It even has a manual in modern day that is incredible. It's even colored. Wow. It's not really a manual, it's more of an art book. So that's even better at times. That's so cool. Gotta love it. Alright. I think we're gonna end this part of the video here because I gotta pop this guy into the PS4 and see what it's like. See you soon with the gameplay. I'm extremely glad I chose this double pack as my first in the series of making sure I don't just shelf collect sealed games like a lot of collectors do, because I just don't want to be that kind of collector. I want to play what I own and not leave it sealed forever, because that just makes it harder to open. The first game in this collection is an extremely short, incredible bite-sized experience, which I may have fully completed in just the first day I played it. I even managed to go collect all the collectibles on the same day as well. I basically 100% of this game in just one day. I enjoyed every second of it. It was one of the most fun palette cleansers I've ever played. Since I play a ton of really long JRPGs and stuff like that, it was nice to have something much different and shorter just to kind of break the mold. It starts off super simple in a Game Boy-like aesthetic, where you have absolutely no abilities yet at all. Like, literally, you could not do anything. Your first ability is to get to go in the right direction, which obviously leads to a treasure chest, which gives you the ability to finally walk left as well. And from that point on, you just get all of the basic, like, sound effects, color, even a third dimension later on. This is just one of the best, most unique games for any JRPG fan, or just fan of indie games, I guess. Like, I mean, it has so many genres in just one game. It's so fun. It literally takes you through all of the beginning stages of just JRPGs in general and what made them like what they are today and all that good stuff. You will get to use all kinds of different combat as well, from basic Zelda-style action combat to Final Fantasy-like ATB turn-based combat, to even a Diablo-like hack-and-slash dungeon later on too, which I love that area. That was so fun, just going through hack-and-slashing everything and getting a ton of money, and leveling up and all that stuff. This game is just a little bit of everything, and it constantly changed and keeps things fresh all the way through. Your entire short 4-hour journey. There are tons of little Easter eggs scattered throughout the entire game as well, including Final Fantasy, Zelda, and even some Mario references, including what looked like an actual Bowser symbol. I'm honestly a bit surprised they got away with some of the references and Easter eggs they threw in this game, and the second game for that matter. They used a lot of Nintendo-related properties, and Nintendo is so strict about that usually, so I don't know how they legally got away with some of it, but I guess just the smallest differences is all it takes to legally get away with it, even though Nintendo still tries sometimes. I couldn't recommend this game enough for anyone that's just needing a break from the usual JRPG length and overall styles, I guess. Just, this is such a nice palette cleanser. Check it out if you have not yet. And that brings us to the second game, which is basically it's a lot more different than the first than I originally thought. I thought it would be more of the same, and it kind of is, but it isn't. In ways, it's hard to explain. But mainly, first off, the second game is just much longer. I didn't know what I was expecting other than a longer experience at the time, but it's almost nothing like the first game at all. It's more of an actual Zelda-like game with a JRPG kind of storyline, and you don't really go through the different stages of RPGs this time necessarily. In ways you do, but instead you just work your way through a much more streamlined linear experience with many different genres scattered throughout the game, including many 2D action platforming sections similar to like the Zelda 2 and Mario games. There is even a full shmup section, which is almost as long as some full shmup games. Like, I enjoy that genre every now and then, and I think this one had 3 levels total in this game, and some shmups are only about that long anyway, so yeah, it took me like an hour through that shmup section. It was fun. And this game also has a lot of little nods and references to other games like Mario, Zelda, like the first one, many others, and we'll get to some of the more references near the end here, because some of them don't pop up till the end of the game. And like, I think for the majority they were mostly Mario, Zelda stuff, like basic stuff like that, some Final Fantasy references and all that stuff. Also, this game is not perfect at all. It actually had a lot more negatives. Like, the first game was a flawless experience in my opinion. This one I had some issues with. Let's get through the issues and then we'll get to some of the good stuff again. But basically it crashed. The game crashed about 7 or 8 times, something like that. It crashed a lot. Like, so much so that I tried uninstalling the game and installing it again to see if that fixed it, and it honestly seemed to for a while, but it still crashed again near the end and did it again at the same time, like basically 2 or 3 more times, so it did not fix it entirely. But it did help it some, I think. So, fair warning, and I was playing on PS4, it might be better on other consoles, but it crashed a lot for how small of a game this technically is. Other than that, there was another flaw that I had a slight problem with. So there was actually here's another reference, so there was an entire Bomberman section in this game basically, and there were these spiky shell enemies that looked very similar to a Mario-like enemy, which to kill them you would have to blow them up twice, once to flip them over and make them vulnerable, and then again to kill it. However, the bomb mechanics were a little iffy, or at least the hit detection. Like, the bombs were fantastic, they played like Bomberman entirely, it was a lot of fun, it was a fun area of the game, but this one enemy, it was so glitchy that I'd say about more than half the time it would not detect the first bomb that I would throw at it or like blow it up with, even though it literally would hit it. It would just act like it didn't touch it. Or, even better, when I would clearly hit the enemy, it would miss and do nothing, or it would flip it over and then flip it over again to make it invincible again, like basically double blowing it up without killing it. So that was a big flaw. And there was a few other things that were less memorable than that area, but like, just know this game has a lot of fun in it, a lot of different genres, a lot of stuff to see and do, but there are a few negatives, just a heads up. Even the minigame in it, so both games have a minigame that is basically a card game. The first game's card game is like a pretty fun tic-tac-toe like card game thing. And I actually enjoyed it a little bit, but the second game has a much different card game, and it was way less fun in my opinion, so that's another negative. So this game's got some issues, and I wish it was a bit better, but it was also a ton of fun getting to see and do so many things in it. So both ways, like I loved it and I got mad at it so many times. And then there was also even a Minecraft reference later on, because the bomb section, they had these enemies that looked like creepers that would basically blow you up as well, so that was in the Bomberman section. Thought that was pretty cool. Those didn't have any glitches that made them hard to kill. They would just kill you if you didn't kill them fast enough, because they would go boom on you if you don't go boom on them. And then eventually, so the first game starts you out with Final Fantasy turn-based combat. The second game doesn't give you that till basically after about the halfway mark. So you finally get to do some ATB Final Fantasy combat. And then they also poked fun at it being old and never knowing what you will get with older systems like this, like when it was talking about the combat system changing. It just had so many little fun Easter eggs, and the dialogue was great. You even get to play a full game of Pong along with Snake and Space Invaders to get to open a few doors. Oh, and you also had to play a game of Pac-Man. It was the easiest Pac-Man game I ever played. The ghosts basically tried avoiding me constantly, so I had no issue with the Pac-Man game to open that extra door. That was near the end of the game where you had to open up a bunch of security doors, and it would give you mini games to play like that. I thought that was really cool, especially each one being different. I mean, started out with Pong to Snake to Space Invaders to Pac-Man, so it was cool. And then at the a little bit after that, there was a random Metroid thing, like just in the jar-like thing, and so it was behind bars basically. And then after that, you end up fighting a massive Metroid, like, I don't know, similar looking creature. It was fun. So there's Metroid references, and then after that, like before the end of the game as well, but close to the end, there was a beat 'em up section that was basically a full beat 'em up game. You had to go all the way through the level, and then there was a time limit because everything was about to go to, like, I think it was all on fire if I remember right, or it was about to explode or something, but you had a time limit to run back, and you had to fight your way back as well. So it was a lot of fun. And just up until the very end, even later on, the game did do more things I didn't like it opened up to where it was more open world and you could choose where to go, and you didn't really know exactly where to go because you were on a mission to find these 5 things, I think. I can't remember how many there were. There was a certain amount of things you had to go find, and you could go find them in any order, technically. So I don't like that because I don't like feeling lost and not knowing where to go. So I did use a guide at a few points just to find out the best way to go and what to do next and all that. But other than that, it was fun. I thoroughly enjoyed the game. The linear parts were my favorite. The different genres, shmup, beat 'em up, all that stuff. It was so cool. There was even, right later on in the game too, there was a area where you could see the backs of these characters, but there was one that looked like Mario, there was one that looked like Link, Bomberman was there, and there was a couple others I can't remember, but you could tell exactly what they were. It's just they made them look legally different, I guess, so they didn't get in trouble. But God, I just to play this game for the different genres and the Easter eggs, like, definitely check it out. And with that, this one is going to be a keeper. It's staying on the shelf now that it is open. I've beaten both games and I love it. I'm so glad I chose it to do for the first in the series, because I have probably about 50 more games that are sealed that I need to open play through, and I plan on doing that with all of them, except for maybe a couple that I end up selling. So that's the thing, though. I don't want to own anything sealed, and if I do own something sealed I don't want to play, I'm going to sell it. So with that, hope you enjoy the video and the gameplay, because these games are so fun. Go check them out if you haven't yet. Even if you have to get it digital, it's still worth it. just go support the indie people that made it, even though they should have fixed the second game and made it better and less broken. But with that, hope you all have a great day, and I'll see you all next time.